If you're thinking about all the possibilities of your life, there are extreme negatives, which you hope don't happen, and extreme positives, which you just aren't willing to think about because you think you'll jinx it. I have always loved Ben Folds. He's like an idol of mine, a hero of mine. Usually, I get bored of my stuff almost immediately. I stopped telling people what lyrics meant to them when I saw them tattoo it on them, because it clearly meant much more to them than it ever did to me. I try not to shy away from specificity. I am not a very superstitious person, but I do believe in mental preparation. Everything sounds better when Billie sings it, so the only ones I'll keep for myself are ones that really feel just super personal to me in their content, like this is my life story and maybe not anybody else's. The first time I ever heard Airborne Toxic Event, my friend was turning 11 or something, and he had a paintball birthday party where him and me and 2 of our other friends went out to these paintball courses and I got obliterated. I don't think I got one hit. I had a very positive, wonderful, happy upbringing, and still, for several reasons, I really didn't enjoy being a child very much. I felt that I had no control over my life and everything seemed scarier and larger than life. The amount of times I've been told something by artists I'm working with, which I'm sure they haven't told even their significant other or families, is shocking. It's important to recognize when a song remains important to you. Kids have tools to do what I'm doing. You know, I grew up very self-taught. As soon as you make anything that people like, you get all these new artists hitting you up like, I want to sound just like Billie Eilish. And I'm always like, absolutely not. People were like, he's collaborating with Taylor Swift, and I was like, I think she's wonderful. Her songwriting has inspired me for years. When we are making a song for Billie, I want it to resonate and speak the truth with her and want it to be a piece of fabric she can wear. I always wanted to be on tour or making albums. I don't particularly like recording studios, they tend to be lifeless and without any natural light, so I wanted to record wherever we live. We just don't want to be bound to a studio to who we'd have to pay untold sums to. All my favorite songs ever are love songs, probably topped by The Luckiest by Ben Folds. We were a very crunchy, sort of hippy-dippy family. I'm not very interested in fame or notoriety at all. In fact, I'd be pretty bummed out if I woke up one day and I was, like, super famous. But the flip side of that is that I'm really passionate about my music, I'm really proud of it and I want it to be heard by as many people as possible, and I'm willing to embrace whatever comes with that. There's always a better word than a swear word. If I'm writing with or for someone else, it just has to feel true and real for them. It has to feel like they're being honest. If it's for myself, it's the same thing. It has to be something I can mean when I say it. When I started, I felt that there was this incredible amount of doubt of my ability as a producer. I'm a big believer in the benefit of a home studio. You're sitting there and maybe you don't know the next line, so you go outside for a second, maybe, make a sandwich, play with the dog, or watch an episode of The Office, whatever, and then it clicks, you run back into the room, and you've got it. It's not like your creativity is on the clock. I never get tired of writing about love. I love pop songs so much and I don't put a ton of pressure on myself as a solo artist to always write the most commercial feeling thing. I just want to write things I would love to listen to. Imagine if somebody was like, who's the next Timothée Chalamet? It's like, he's currently Timothée Chalamet. If I'm making a song with Billie, then it's for Billie. She has to want to wear that song every day, and I think I try to do the same thing when I'm making a song for myself. I try to treat them both that way, like I'm sort of A&RNG her and then A&RNG myself. Being able to hear an artist and emulate them has been a huge part of being successful as a producer and co-writer. I think it's a problem when a producer comes in to work with an artist, and you can't hear the artist as well anymore. It's very important to me to be invisible. I was on a TV show called Glee. I was on the real tail end of that show. It was already way past its peak. But still, for me aged 17 landing something like that was a big deal. A lot of the time, in pop music especially, there's reverb. And the reason is that reverb makes vocals sound better 99% of the time. It makes the notes ring out. I think if you're not trying to change things a little bit, you're not evolving. The way that we tried to approach every piece of music is, if the song had a brain, it would be aware of its catalog. I have nothing against reverb. I think we're always looking for ways to inject a sense of humor into our music. I don't think if you set out to make an album to get a bunch of Grammy nominations, you just have to set out to make an album you'll really love. To me, my favorite joke on a stand-up special is when someone says something and you go, "Oh my God, I've been thinking that my whole life, I've just never said it to anyone else." Those little kinda quiet, personal observations you make that nobody else has talked about yet. I mainly try to foster long-term collaborative relationships. To be honest, I've found so many more friends in the music industry than people I disagree with. I certainly haven't been made to feel like an outsider. I am just fascinated by music and I want to know how to identify all the things I love about it. To me, music theory is like learning another language and then being able to explain how much you love something more clearly. What I really didn't want to do is work with other people and have them go, "Oh, Finneas just does that sound for everybody. The Billie sound is only Billie, I'll only do that for her." Definitely for me and my sister, wherever we are the most comfortable is where the best music's going to be made. I remember, one time, my dad took me and Billie to a fair. I was probably 7 years old, Billie must have been 3, and she put footy pajamas on and then put a second pair of underwear on over the pajamas. I remember being like, "What is Billie wearing?" And my dad was like, "She's happy with it. Let's go." When I wrote, "When the party's over," it had a universal quality. I don't really have any interest in recording at places that are institutionalized for recording. Our mom cooks well, and we cook poorly. We try. I think that's probably the #1 reason why collaboration is good. You disagree with each other about things and then what we always say is whichever one of us is more passionate about the issue is the winner, because if you care about something enough to fight for it, that means it's probably a good thing. Working on TV shows was fun, but I felt crazy pressured and stressed. I'm just obsessed with music, I guess. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.